Hey, happy Thursday,
Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday.
everyone. I love it. I actually really like that we moved the show to back to the Thursday. I feel like it's the precursor to my weekend, and it gets me ready for a really good weekend. So good job, us. Um, for moving it
I know it's
to a
all
Thursday,
listeners and stuff.
right? I'm moving to a Thursday. How has your week been?
A little hectic, but good.
Work hectic, life hectic.
um, Work is good, so I'm gonna say life hectic.
I get
So
that.
just to drop a tidbit out there for the people out there in the World Wide Web. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
I'm gonna give y'all a little education today on insurance, right?
oh,
Me.
oh.
So So there's a thing called comprehensive coverage, right? So when you lease a car, comprehensive is something that's automatically included into your car insurance because you're still paying on the car and you're paying on it, and so you have all these coverages for it. So comprehensive covers fire, gas, water, flood, all that stuff going on. So you figure what the hurricane's going on, you need to have comprehensive coverage. If your car get flooded, it's covered. Now, with all that being said, my truck I had caught on fire. Not while well, I guess it was while I was driving it, but I didn't realize until I got home because I saw a lot of smoke, and I looked back and saw those flames. So I put it out. It was like the front left wheel side of it, right? Cool. I was putting water on it trying to put it out, but it wouldn't go out. So I called 911. They had to come out and take care of it. But the point I'm trying to make here is that I paid for my truck in cash. So I bought it in cash. So when I got insurance, I thought I was covered for it. So long story short, I didn't have comprehensive coverage for that. So I got to pay out of pocket for repairs for that. So just a mental note, if you're buying car cash, make sure you put comprehensive coverage on your vehicle that covers water, gas, flood, fire, tree falls, anything like that that's non-accident. All right. So that's what I've been doing with this week.
Well, let me just first of all say, thank God, hallelujah, you are okay.
And
Let's start there.
I'm here
Like
now.
that,
So
you're good.
yes.
So, I mean, everything else, God be to the glory. Like, that's it. Yes, he did, actually. Mr. said, paid for the truck in cash. Question mark, did he just stunt on us? I was thinking the same thing, Mr. I was waiting for you to come in and say it. He absolutely stunted on us. He said, all you people leasing and financing your car, bought that. Said, I paid for my truck. Not car, Mr. He said, I paid for my truck in cash. But we digress. He's okay. Hallelujah.
I love y'all. I love y'all.
But again, I am glad that you are okay because that's what matters. So hopefully the repairs don't put you out too much. But again, hallelujah. Thank God you're fine.
Whoop whoop.
My week was nothing like that. My week has just been work related and doing work stuff. And I moved into a new place a few weeks ago. I think you guys
Mhm.
noticed the changes. And so I'm having two housewarmings this weekend. One with two different groups of friends, and sometimes your friends should not like interact. Not like it's a bad thing, but there's certain things that you talk about with certain groups of friends that other groups of friends being around might make it uncomfortable. So I'm having one on Friday tomorrow, and then one on Saturday afternoon. So good to have family and friends. My friends are my family, but them around. So that's going to be good. Pretty, low key. Like I said, last week a bunch of people got fired at the job. So we're calm. We're calm this week. Everybody is good. Before we get into the show, I have a bit of a disclaimer. Yes, two housewarmings. I know I didn't stunt. I actually didn't stunt. I was just saying, like, I'm having two different sets of people coming over. Not Mr. saying I stunted too. I'm saying I have two different sets of people coming over. That ain't stunted. It's just the way it is. But anywho, Mr. I am going to do a bit of a disclaimer. I was thinking about this like 30 minutes before the show started. disclaimer, this is a PSA. If you watch our show or comment, if you are on medication, need medication, have not had therapy, do not know that you have some issues, probably this is not the show to watch. I'm realizing a lot of you out there get triggered by things that particularly I say on this show. So I'm getting a lot of backlash from a clip that I put up last week talking about, as women, we are full of shit. When we talk about we love being single, because when we are by ourselves in true form, eating our single meal, we realize that we are not. So as expected, I was called me a pick-me, and thank you for those who called me a pick-me, because I have been chosen. So I'm good on that. The men do pick me. But if you feel as if little things that we say on the show is going to trigger you, this might not be the show. This is for people who have evolved. This is for people who are ready to hear the truth. This is for people who are mature and enlightened and can have respectful discourse, who do not resort to name calling either myself or twins or any of the people that comment. Because when I have time, let's not forget I'm Jamaican. So don't let me have time that day. Okay? Don't let me have time that day. So that's the PSA. Everybody else, we love you. We appreciate you. We love our followers. But for those of you who really should be on some medication, you can go to some of the other platforms. I won't even say their names. They welcome you. This is probably not your space. Just saying. But I digress. That's it. Thank you so much.
All right, back to business we go. Okay, wasn't expecting that today, but okay.
Yes, I do not tell twins what I'm about to do, because sometimes they literally pop in my head while I'm getting ready. I'm just like, you know what, I actually have time. And this was one of the ones I was like, I have time today, because this is honestly, I don't often go in the comments, but sometimes I do, and I'm just like, you should not be so easily triggered by things that people, like strangers, say on the internet. Right? There's a lot of things that people say on the internet, and you can choose to listen and walk away and just go like, I don't really agree with this person, or you can reflect back on what they say. But to resort to name calling and bashing, like I think it's a sign of not good mental health. I hear a lot of things I don't like on the internet, and I just go, interesting, or I'll talk about it with the people in my life. I'll say, I heard this thing. Like, how many things do I send to you, twins? Or I'll send to my boyfriend, or send to my best friend. I'm like, let's talk about this. Like, what are your thoughts on this? Because here's my perspective on it. Like, what are your perspectives? So I can gain, a different perspective. I always say, I send twins something, I'll say thoughts, question mark. I don't impose my own thoughts. I let him get his points. And then we'll, if there's a little bit of a back and forth, we go through it. But it's not like, I can't believe you said that, and what makes you think that, and ninjas ain't ditched, and biatches ain't, like, I just think it's a form of just not good mental health. But I digress. And you know what? I respond to, it's funny, I do not respond to just the negative comments. I do respond to all of the comments. So it depends on, like, when I go in with YouTube, because a lot of it goes to my junk mail. For whatever reason, it doesn't go to my inbox. Sometimes I'll just notice that something pops up, and then depending, I'll go through and I tend to respond to all. It's the negative ones, I don't know, jar me a little bit, because they're not, like I said, we have respectful discourse on this in the show, and I'm happy for people to disagree, but it's when they resort to the name calling that I don't know why it irritates me. You can disagree, and I've said, when people disagree, you know what, I don't actually think you're correct on this. Here's my opinion, and I'll say elaborate. Like, why don't you agree with this? And when the good comments come up, we're like, thank you for commenting. Please join, share. Mr. I've commented on your stuff, and generally your stuff is positive. And even when Mr. sometimes disagrees with me on stuff, it's in a very positive way, like he does on the show. But when people, I don't know, I think I'm just getting to a point where people resort to the name calling, and I'm being told I'm never going to get a man, or I'm a pick me, or, fake hair wearing this, whatever. It's just like, stop it. Like, go get some mental health treatment, because this is not the space for it. There's other spaces on the internet that people can go to. This is just not it. So I thought that PSA was necessary. But getting into the show, for what you guys are here for, single by choice. Is that a real thing? Are people truly single by choice? And I'm gonna give it a caveat. Not people who are working on themselves, not people who are stepping back and realizing, I've come out of a situation, I have some work to do, let me do that work so I don't become a burden in some future person's life. So they've taken a back. Not those people. I don't think that's being single by choice. That's recognizing that you have some work to do before you go back on the dating scene. But people who are mingling, doing the deed, getting their cheeks slapped, and all of those different things, is there really a single by choice? Twins, gentlemen, what do you guys say?
Is there a single boy by choice? Okay. Well, I'm glad you clarified the caveats, everything. So, I mean, no, there isn't. Single by choice. I don't. It doesn't sound It doesn't sound natural. It doesn't sound even realistic. My personal opinion. At the end of the day, we are made to be with somebody, right? No one is made to be alone. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the whole world, when you look at animals, insects, I mean, it's about 98% of everything has an opposite to it, right? And we ain't talking about them one-offs where it could do its own baby and all that stuff. I'm talking about 98% of everything out there has an opposite. There's a guy and there's a girl. So with that being said, you're not meant to be alone. So this whole notion that, you're single by choice, I call bullshit on that, my personal opinion.
I love it. So I'm going to play a clip that precipitated this discussion and this question. And it's a 1-minute clip. I'll give my opinion at the end, not to sully what you think about the clip. But here we go, single by choice.
Maya married herself. And I want to talk about if being single by choice is really as liberating or as much of a choice as we are currently talking about it being.
Single by choice is not real.
Explain that.
So when I've been single by choice, it's because I wanted to stop dating for that moment. It's because I knew I had to focus on myself to heal from whatever shit happened the last time.
Okay.
That's the choice. But it's only the choice because it didn't work out. If Maya met the perfect she would not have married herself. You are single because of your option. Now, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm single by choice, because I am figuring out still what a relationship to me would look like. I just also don't think I have the capacity to deal with an ain't shit person. And I genuinely find people to be shitty. I think the same way you're single for a moment, a happy and healthy relationship is only for a moment.
What?
I guess.
Have you really not met a married couple that's happy?
Absolutely. Again, they're happy for a moment. It's healthy for a moment. And then life happens.
Let me tell you the realest thing that was said in that entire segment was, you are single because of your options. I want people to let that sink in. You are single because of your options. If the man or woman of your dreams was available to you and was pressing you, you wouldn't be single.
That's a fact. That is a fact. And everyone has their choice. Everyone has their dream person. I mean, it don't gotta be the actual dream person, but traits of that person, whatever it may be, someone has what they want and it's out there. So to say that you're single by choice, like I said before, bullshit. But go ahead.
Mr. agrees. He says yes, but it's most often it's misused. 90% of the time it's used by people, usually women, who failed in relationships and now use it as an excuse for nobody putting up with their shit.
I'm gonna sip on this tea real quick.
I can't disagree. I have never heard an eligible, and I'm just going to speak Black men because that's all I date. I have never heard an eligible Black man with options say, yeah, girl, I'm out here single by choice.
Hey,
Trying
listen,
to do my best male voice.
I never heard any male say it. I don't care if the guy is not whatever. I never heard men. See, that's the thing. We men don't say that type of stuff. I'm single by choice. Like, what kind of? Let's shut up. Let's shut up. Let's shut up. I'm single by choice. Yeah.
It's I think, let me just say the women in that clip were from a show called Of All Things, Horrible Decisions. Yes, whore, WHORE, horrible decisions, which means that they've made horrible decisions as whores. That's essentially that's the name of their show, right? The one who claims that she's single by choice and won't admit it's because no man actually wants her is the one who is the most vocal about the fact that she pegs men. And for those of you who don't know what pegging is, she basically puts on a strap on and up a man's booty hole, right? Like, these are things that I had to unfollow them like 2 years ago because I was like, this is just some crap that, what are we talking about? And she'll brag on it and talk about she won't name the names that she met this athlete and this rapper. And I'm like, first of all, girl, you're lying. Like, no, you didn't. You didn't meet no athlete and rapper. Like, they're not checking for you like that, but sure. And so I think in her particular situation, what I think is interesting is she thinks it's a choice, but it's not. I don't think it's her choice. Because if a man who came into her life was pressing her, right, and was actually everything she wanted, like, it wouldn't be the case. So, I agree with her co-host. Like, when I was single by choice, I was working on myself because of the effed up thing that happened before. But the reality is, like she said, you're as single as your options. And people need to take that part in, because, this show's called Single by Choice and Other Lies We Tell Ourselves. We tell ourselves a lot of lies because it's easier to live in the land of Delulu, as the kids call it, than live in the reality that, you know what? My life is a product of some messed up choices that I made. My life, Toshiba's, is a product of choices I've made. Not choices anybody else has made, but choices I've made. And I sit here today because of that. And when I looked at my life and said, oh, I don't like this, guess what? I made different choices. Because I wanted a different outcome. Those choices had led to the outcome of me living a life I didn't want to live. And so I looked at the life that I wanted to live and it was in close reach. And I said, how do you get there, Toshiba? And it was coming down to making different choices. And those different choices led me to a better life. But how many of us just can't be real with, and I have to, and it sucks because this is why I get so much flack on the show, because I want women to start being honest. Ladies, we just need to be honest. We are lying when we puff up our chest like peacocks and we go on these shows and we say what that woman just said, like, I'm single by choice because, there's no such thing as happiness and you're only happy for a moment. No, sis, you are only happy for a moment because you have some internal work to do and you can't get the men that you truly want. And you are projecting your unhappiness to the rest of us. It's you. But I get called a pygmy when I say that. It was me. It was me. It wasn't the men. It was me. When I had messed up relationships, I had messed up relationships. It wasn't, oh, yeah, because of this person, this person, this person, this person made me. No, I had messed up relationship. But there's some great comments here. Mr. said before Twins jumps in, if a man ever, and I had to say ever because he capitalized the ever. If a man ever fixed his lying ass lips to say he was single by choice, his own friends would immediately, again, capitalize, say to him, bruh, why you lying? You can't get no patty woo-ha. Royce Monroe said, it's a skewed perception of wants versus a need of a relationship. If I can't have what I want, I won't make the investment in getting to grow with someone. I'm single by choice. Bullshit. Ladies, the men are calling us out. Twins.
Look at y'all. Look at the dropping the gems, Minister and Royce. Salute to y'all. Salute to y'all dropping the gems in the chat. I mean, honestly, yeah. As like they both said, as men, that's something that we'll never just let slide. And like I said, I never heard none of my guys say I'm single by choice. Hell, I barely hear guys say I'm gonna work on myself. You know what I mean? I barely hear that. I mean, it does happen, but they don't talk about it. They work on themselves just a different way, but they're not coming out on social media or anywhere public place about I'm working on myself. You're not getting no cool points anywhere. But anyway, that's so even the whole thing about a woman saying single by choice is like it's like a validation. They're trying to create themselves to make themselves feel good by putting something out there. Like, you know what? I'm single by choice. Yeah, girl, me too. It's like women create bad behaviors. You know what I'm saying? You're supporting the bad behavior, and then you get behind it. Yeah, girl. Yeah, sing about choice. Woohoo! And y'all rally behind that bullshit instead of trying to keep your girlfriend accountable. Like, come on now, just say you're working on yourself and let it be on. Because you can say right now, even you can say right now, I'm single by choice. You still have dudes sliding all in the DMs trying to holler at you. So even though you're saying you're single by choice, you have options just sitting there. Just say you work on yourself, so you can be available when it's time to step out there. Just say that. But I digress.
But some of us are lying because we don't have actual real options. And I think sometimes that's where the delulu comes in, right? A lot of these women get delusional because of the men sliding in their DMs, because of the random strangers who tell them, yeah, girl, you're hot, right? And her BMI is over whatever the hell, double what it's supposed to be, right? Like, you're out here, you look great, girl, you're good. So they take that and say, oh, I can have any man I want. But those men are not the quality men anyways. They're sliding in everybody's DM. So for me, like, oh shit, who's in my DMs? I get some random ass shit. Like, I am in the most healthiest relationship I have been in years. And it's because I worked on myself. And even within the relationship, I'm working on myself to make sure that I'm the best version, because that's what my man deserves. He deserves the best version of me. And so when he points out some of my flaws that he knows I can fix so I can be a better human being, I take heed to them and go, you know what? I've got some work to do. But he's it's because he's amazing. And I don't want to be single out there in these streets with men in my DM when I've got this amazing human being. And the reality is, if more of us had that type of relationship, we wouldn't be out there talking the BS we're talking. Like, that girl is so full of garbage. It's crazy. Go ahead. I know you want to say something, Twins. I was just kept going.
Oh no, you good. I mean, you kind of you said you kind of answered or said what I was leading to. But I mean, even so, just to add to what you're saying, forget the whole DM thing. I mean, it's still, if you went to the store, you still gonna have somebody hollering at you, right?
I do. I just did today.
Exactly. So, but like you said, it's just the quality of the type of man that you want, right? So you're not getting what you want to holler at you, but are you And are you in that position, or are you that woman that wants that certain man to try to holler at you? If you walk around and you built like a linebacker or a running back, or you have kids running around behind you, yes, you're not going to get the type of man that you think you should deserve. You're not. You lost those options while you was playing the field young and making these oops or the simple, I was young and dumb. I hear that all the goddamn time. But anyway, because you was young and dumb and you made bad decisions, unfortunately, you don't get the top pick of the litters. I mean, it's good to think that you can still get that top pick of the litter, but it's not going to happen. And if it's so, there's 50 other women that's in the chasing the same guy that you want to have anyway. So how are you going to stick out from those other women and yourself? And then we don't want to hear, oh, I can do XYZ, XYZ. Yes, the sex is cool, but there's the kitty cat or the patty woo ha ha, whatever it is, doesn't have a face. And most of the time, it feels the same. Now, a little different on each woman, cool, whatever. But at the end of the day, there's no such thing as that one kitty cat that's going to make you lose your mind. It ain't that serious. So, and plus, there's always a new one being generated. There's an 18-year-old every day. So come on now, a younger, tighter, fresher, and all that. So stop with everything that you're saying, please.
Yeah. So Royce and Rose says it sounds like something cool to say. As Twin says, emotional damage.
Facts.
Mr. Mischer says, no cap, these options women tend to brag about are just guys looking to smash. They're there for a good time, not for a long time. And Royce Monroe says, screams laugh out loud, red flag. If she say that, run. I hope women are actually not out there like answering it when a man says, why are you single? Like, I'm single by choice. Ladies, don't do that. Be honest. I'm single because I needed to step away from dating, to put the work I needed, or even just to focus on myself. I needed the time to focus on myself, to be the best version of myself for the man that I was meant for, whatever. But saying single by choice, I even think that's a red flag. Like flag on the play, because what are you talking about?
See, saying that I'm single by choice is like this. Here's where it makes sense to me. You're a woman who just got out of a long-term committed relationship, and you're trying to, heal yourself from XYZ. That makes sense. You're in school, or you've moved out and you're getting on your feet, trying to get things established. So yeah, those things working on yourself, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But when you just saying you're working on, you single by choice for no hell of a reason, makes no sense. And as far as Maya, yes, Maya, she's a different type of caliber of woman. So you can't even sit at the same table as that woman. So don't even act like, well, Maya do it, so can I. You're not that woman. Maya is still fine. I don't care what nobody say.
She's fine.
She fine.
Like Maya, fine.
She fine, right, fellas? She fine.
Fine.
Right now, right? Maybe she didn't meet the right guy yet, right? Okay, cool. But she's still fine. And the fact that she's still fine, she still has a lot of options as far as picking and choosing who she want to talk to. And there's pretty guys probably still trying to holler at her, right? Because she still can sing, she's still beautiful, still look good. I'm just saying, like, she has options. Maybe she's taking a break because she keep dealing with a bunch of knuckleheads, right? I'm pretty sure if Maya was able to give her reason of being single by choice, I'm pretty sure her list is more detailed and a better explanation based on what that lady's trying to say on her show.
Oh, just ridiculous. And let me also say before we move on, ladies, when you say I'm single by choice, and then a man asks you the following question, so when was the last time you were in a relationship? And you say something like 5-6 years ago, it already eliminates you. That man knows you're not single by choice. And if for any reason it comes up and the question's asked, when's the last time you've had sex? And it's within the last 28 days, you are not single by choice.
Message.
Because you're out there giving away your kitty cat on purpose. You're giving away your coot, your patty woo-ha on purpose. So sis, you're not single by choice. The man you're giving your patty woo-ha just doesn't want you like that. Like we need to stop. Like it's a great sound bite and it goes viral, but the reality is it's stupid. Stop saying it.
That right there, what you just said is so key. You've been single for what, 5 years, 2 years, a year, whatever it may be, right? You've been single for a long time. But then, like you said, the fall question, when last time you had sex? Within 30 days. That automatically gets your ass disqualified because that doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Like, okay, so you're working on yourself, but you still have fucking. Like, make that make sense. Like, hold on, what? Like, you think about so, but you still have fucking? So you're telling me that you're not. So what you're telling me is this. Okay, so you're not really trying to be in committed relationships. You're just having fun right now. And then it was like, so okay, so if you get pregnant, then okay, so you trying to be a baby mama because that's the only thing that happens out here when you just fucking around for no reason, especially at our age, right? We talk about. We ain't talking about 20-year-old, maybe early 30. We're talking about late 30s, 40s, people who are intentional, who want to be in long-term committed relationship with somebody special.
Thank you.
You still are, and you got kids too, and you are just fucking around. Like, make it make sense. You wasn't married before you got kids, but now you still not married, but you sing about choice, but you still fucking. Yeah, this chaos. This sounds like chaos right there.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen, we don't even to say no more about that. Thank you, people in the chat. Royce Monroe is saying mic drop. He's saying Soul Ties Twins is on to something like that. It just, ladies, we sound discombobulated and just like full of shit when we come and we say those things. And I'm gonna call it out all the time. And listen, men say a lot of things online that I think are full of shit too, and I'm gonna call some of that out. Now, this next clip I think is going to be controversial because I think I'm interested to know what, because I know that there's only men watching. Ladies, if some of you are watching live, please help a sister out and come in the chat or come on, click the link because I'm out here by myself. This one I think is going to cause a bit of and I'm interested to know what you gentlemen, and I will share my thoughts. So this is a gentleman who some men online, have some questions about. I've heard him called a simp and all kinds of things about what he says. But there's a clip that I'm calling Date Around, and hear what this gentleman has to say.
My point is, date them all, sis. If a man got a problem with you keeping your options open, tell that man to close them. If that man don't want you mingling with other people, tell him to not have you out here single. If this man actually wants you for himself, tell him to put his last name on it. Until a man do that, date him all, sis. Your problem is you've been dating one man at a time. So now it takes you 7, 8, 9 months to figure out this man is trying to waste your time. Stop wasting your own time by just giving one man a chance at a time. What you need to say is, until we get serious, I'm mysterious. Men will try to convince you that dating multiple men before you get in a relationship is being a... No, that's being a prize. Prizes are to be won. What prize is given to the only person running a race? A participation trophy. So my question is, are you a prize or a participation trophy? Because prizes got multiple people competing to win.
Ah, man. Salute to him, though. I mean, they shows and conversation they have is very entertaining. You know what I'm saying? So he's kind of straddling the fence. So I ain't not nothing wrong with knocking his hustle. But at the end of the day, if I'm talking to you, if I'm talking to a certain lady and I'm being intentional with her, and she telling me that she gonna date multiple men, well, you know what? Just take me off that list because I ain't got time to compete. I don't got time. Not that I'm not up for a challenge. I'm not up. I don't have time for the games. That's what it sounds like to me. If I'm talking to you and being intentional with you, and you telling me you still want to talk to 53, 2 other dudes at the same time, man, I ain't got to do. On to the next one. On to the next one. So ladies, don't take that advice. Maybe in your young 20s, maybe take that advice. Actually, never take that advice. That's my personal opinion. I'll stop for right now.
Okay. Now you said a key word in what you said about yourself is intentionality, being intentional. But how do you find out if a man is being intentional? So I think that would be a question for the ladies, right? How do I know a man is being intentional? I'll only know if he's being intentional if I'm dating a couple of men, not sleeping with ladies. You do not need a yeast infection or, worst of all, STIs and STDs. The man said date them all. He did not say give your patty woo haul to them all. A date is movies, dinner, a walk in the park, ice cream, the museum. It isn't in his bedroom, right? Right? Like that's not what we're talking about. But if I'm going to know as a woman that a man is intentional, do I not need to date multiple men to see intention?
So to answer that question, right, there's two ways to find out that. One, he's going to tell you during communication that he's being intentional with you. So communication is still key, but he's going to tell you that. But on top of him telling you that he's being intentional with you, number two, he's going to show you that he's being intentional with you.
Ooh, that part.
So that's how you know that someone is really focusing on you. So, so for example, if I'm talking to you, right, and I'm being intentional with you, first I'm telling you I'm being intentional with you. Now, number two, I'm gonna show you I'm intentional. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to, here's what I'm doing. I'm gonna cut off I'm single. So I met you. We started talking.
Yeah.
We're hitting off really well. So let's say I met you on a dating app. Okay, cool. Now that you're clicking, I'm just shutting down my dating app. I'm closing that app down. I'm telling you I'm doing that. Not saying that you have to do anything. I'm just telling you what I'm doing on my end. Hey, I'm shutting down my dating profile. I'm go ahead and eliminate these other side conversations where someone think that there might be a shot with me.
Mm-hmm.
That's an intentional let you know what's going on. So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm telling you, I'm being intentional with you, and also I'm showing you. So because if I'm talking to you, being intentional with you, and I'm still on the dating app. I still got the opportunity of someone popping in my DM to my hey beautiful or hey king. Oh, what's going on over here? Now I'm distracted because I'm looking over here. Well, I'm talking to you. But if I shut it down, I could only focus on you.
You just said a lot, and Mr. is agreeing with you. He said his words match his actions. Listen to that, ladies, because it is about the words and the action. That's when I knew that my boyfriend was being intentional, is that in a conversation, he just happened to slip in there that he had taken himself off of the dating app that we had met. Like, I wasn't questioning him. I wasn't saying you needed to do anything. He just mentioned it, and we kept it pushing in the conversation. I didn't even stop to ask no questions. I was like, oh, that's nice, honey. And then we just kept on. But that clicked to me like, this man is serious. Like, he's letting it be known you have my full attention. And I think sometimes, ladies, I'm going to tell you what some of our issues are. We spend a lot of time talking and not enough listening.
Ooh, message.
Here
Say
comes
it again.
We spend a lot of time talking and not enough time listening. And I know one called me a pick me for that clip too, but go ahead, because like I said, he chose me, let me just say. But I think that's what happens because we're not actually taking a look at his actions, nor are we listening to his words. And to Mr. Mister's point, matching them up, right? It wasn't alone that my boyfriend said that. He actually matched his actions, where I was like, my girlfriends were like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Where other people like, damn, like this man is serious. And there's no way I could give my attention, affection, time to anybody else when this man was showing up in such a major way. But again, he said it and he acted on it. So let me see what, Russ Monroe doesn't look like he likes the clip either. He said that clip was nasty work. Doesn't make sense. You have to give one person a shot if there's going to even think of marriage. I'm not going all in if she's dating other people.
Facts.
What if she doesn't tell you she's dating other people? What if you guys just don't talk about it? Like you just are both doing your thing.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if what I don't know doesn't hurt me, right? That's number one. Take it to the grave, right? But once again, eventually it's going to show. You may even slip up. You might say the wrong name. You know what I'm saying? Not like during sex or anything, just regular conversation. You might talk about something. I'm like, we never talked about that. No, don't you got a sister? Like, no, I ain't got a sister. What are you talking about? Like, you'll start saying things because you're trying to juggle all this conversation. You're trying to remember all these different things with each person, and you might unintentionally slip up by bringing another story up. Or then we talk about this. I'm like, no, because if I'm focused on you, I know exactly what we talk about, how we talked about it, how we got there. So you bring some addition. I'm like, no, we didn't talk about that. So yeah, you might get me confused with someone else.
Yeah, listen, I tried the talking to multiple guys at the same time, and I won't lie, that happened to me like twice, and I was like, this ain't for me. Like, this is like, somebody rescue me, please, because I was like, this is not, and I wasn't even like going out with them, just the giving attention and talking and getting to know people and having to remember someone's birthday here and who has a sister and who grew up with both their parents, or who had a single mom, and like, it's all of these things, and who has a meeting that is like all of these different. And I was like, oh my God, this is too much. Like, I have to be honest, I don't know how women date them all. It is a skill that I never had. I am a focus one at a time, and I'm usually at 2 or 3 dates to decide if I should even give you more of my time. But once I lock in, I am in. Like, my boyfriend is the first person I talk to in the morning. He's the last person I talk to at night. I literally is the first person I call to make sure he's good. And he's we go to bed together. He says good night. I say good night. Lights are turning off. TV's on the sleep timer. We're out. So I could not imagine giving that energy and time, because there's a level of vulnerability that you need to have to get to a space where you can potentially be someone's wife or they can be your husband. I can't have that level of vulnerability with multiple men. There's a safety that your heart has to feel, at least, and I will speak for myself. There's a safety my heart has to feel for me to give myself wholly and completely to a man. How are multiple men gonna make my heart feel that safe or make me feel so vulnerable and open? Like, I can say that hasn't worked for me. Ladies, take that advice if you want. Tell me how it works out for you, because for some women it might be successful. For some women, they're like, listen, I was doing it all. I had 6 guys on the roster. Eventually one of them married me. Good to go. I can say for me and the people I know, I think at the most my girlfriends maybe juggled 1 or 2 guys, but then after about a month or 2, they would come and be like, listen, like, one's gotta go. This is too much. Like, and I'm not talking about sleeping with them, just like hanging out, and maybe one's on a Monday, one's on a Tuesday. And but after a month, they're like, yeah, I can't do this. Like, who's got time for all of this? People have work and jobs and all these other things in a social life. Like, who's got time? Again, maybe in your 20s, as you're figuring out life without no responsibilities. But us 35 to say 55, that advice ain't for us. It's for the university chicks. It's for the young girls just starting out, the fresh ones ready to go. That advice that he just gave is not for us. I would at least say 40 and up. We are not dating them all. Who's got and energy? Who's got time and energy? I don't. I just don't have time and energy. That's why Mr. Spitzer said, that's why I told before I can't do it. I focus on one at a time. Yeah, I'm with you. Now, Mr. said he's responding to what I said earlier about us speaking more than we listen. He said, ask men one-on-one, when was the last time you felt a woman actually listen to you? Twins? Royce Monroe, Mr. Answer your own question. When is the last time you felt a woman actually listen to you?
That's a good one. I'm gonna say it depends. It depends. It just depends. I believe they listen, especially once you're saying the right things. Like once they see that you're intentional and they see you being genuine and like you're not just talking the bullshit. Because we all got our game we run on our women, right? We got the same thing we say each time. But after you get past that conversation and they're like, okay, now he's saying some real substance stuff. And then as we're talking, I may say something and I'm gonna listen to see if you catch or remember what I said. So I pay attention to my conversation when I have with a woman, and I'll repeat stuff back to them. Like, oh yeah, you said this. It's like, oh shoot, you do listen. Yeah, listen. So it just based on how long you've been talking, right? So day 1, day 2, hell, day 3, that's not gonna happen. But once you get to like a whole week of talking, then that's when you want to realize, that's when you want to figure out if the person you're talking to is really listening to what you're saying now. Because once you establish that point that you're intentional, when you say certain things, they should catch on that whatever you're putting down. So that's a great question, though.
That's a really good question. I'm actually proud to say moments before I got on for the show, my boyfriend gave me a compliment, said, babe, you do listen, because I was bringing something back and he thought I'd listen. I was like, no, but you said this and it was related to this. And he was like, oh shit, you were listening. I'm like, I listen to everything you say because it matters, because you matter. And that's the thing. We listen to people that matter. I feel like we listen to people that we want to have a future with, because that thing that they said 6 months ago might come up and it might have some relevance and tie things together. And you want to remember that. People I don't give two craps about, I don't know. But I just should, I don't know. Probably did.
I'll say this too, when women want to figure something out about you, they will ask the question again just to see if the answer has changed, right? So when they want to know something, fellas, they'll ask you a question twice. They might say it differently, but they want to see if the answer is still the same, and that's them just confirming what you said and then make sure your answer didn't change, because they're listening too, and they want to make sure you ain't just saying much of bullshit. Because as soon as you mess up like the wrong answer, they're like, hold on, didn't you say? And now you stuck. So
on October 17th at 9:50 p.m. this, that, and the next thing. No, we don't joke. That is actual factual. Royce Monroe is saying, if she likes you, she'll listen intently and intentionally, fellas. She's going to tell you something you said that meant something to you. Drops mic on that.
That is a true, absolutely fact.
And Royce Monroe also gave you a mic drop. He said, mic drop, twins. You out here getting enough mic drops tonight. There is some other lies that we tell ourselves. And one of the lies that I have been hearing a lot is the reason some people are single is because there's piss or pee in the dating pool. That is another lie that has been going around, and I've been hearing it for the past few years. Why are you single? Because there's piss in the dating pool. And interestingly enough, I've heard it on some of these shows from men and women saying that they're single because there is piss in the dating pool. I will say that my dating pool for the last few years has been crystal clear. Some of us probably are the piss in our own dating pool. Let me pause for dramatic effect. I'm going to say it again, people. Sometimes we are the piss in our dating pool. And we need to stop and think about that part, because it sounds good. Okay, right? These are all great sound bites. Single by choice, right? I gotta, date as many men or date as many women because, I gotta find the right one and make sure that they're right. Or the reason I'm single, or I gotta date so many people, is because there's piss in the dating pool. And it's just like, Some people, I'm like, what? Have you ever considered you are the piss in the dating pool? And if you actually would get out of Delulu land, and this is men and women, then you would actually realize that. And I think if we start taking in advice instead of being offended by people's advice, we would learn a little something. And I'm going to play a clip in a second where there was this Uber driver. It's a very cute moment where this Uber driver is giving some of the young ladies in his car some very sound advice. So before I go to that, Royce Monroe is saying, no, it's where you hang out. It's you. You are what you eat. I don't really have anything to add there. He said what he said. So here is this clip, and I want to know people's thoughts before we wrap up on this.
Go where the guys hang out, the good guys hang out.
Where?
Do you do gym?
No.
Okay. Are you looking for men to pass time, or are you looking
No.
for men to stick by?
To marry.
And
Yeah.
excuse me, how old are you people? Sorry to ask. Marry is something you can't look for. It's something that happens. Basically, it's loving thyself. If you are looking for love, that means what?
You don't. Oh my god.
If you look for it, you are suggesting to nature, I don't have it. Don't look for love. Look for faults. Listen to this carefully. This may change your life. Look for faults in you that is preventing love, for love to come to you. When you are enjoying, when a guy sees you, he'll say, oh my God, who is this lady?
That is true. That's always how it is.
I want to be with her.
This man said, look for faults in you that's preventing love from coming to you.
Another thing I want to say real quick, as you're watching our video, fellas, you can see how the lady went from smiling, right? See how the pretty teeth, laughing, well, not laughing, but the smiling, giggling, whatever, to like the straight face focus. That's
because it hit her.
That's a woman that's listening. That's example. That's what listening looks like, fellas, right there. Where her demeanor her changed, she was locked in. That's what listening looks like. But I mean, yes, he was saying a lot of great gems. I mean, where the good men at? Okay, do you go to the gym? I'm not saying all the good men go to the gym, right? But most men who do go to the gym, that's not just trying to work on a physical appearance, they're working on the mental as well too. Like going to the gym is not just going to the gym and going to the gym and that's it. No, going to the gym is a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Commitment, consistency, all that.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally going to a place where you're beating your body up for about an hour and some change. Intentionally, you're going somewhere to beat your body up to get a different result, right? And you're doing it 5 days a week, 3 days a week. So when he said, or do you, so he's working on his health, his mental, all that. So if you want to look and find a decent man, you have to go to certain places where men are working on themselves. That's the point I'm trying to say. Man go to the gym, work on himself. Man walking, working on himself. Man in run club, working on himself. Man going to a library, work on himself. Man going to school, man work on himself. You see the trend I'm going with? If you go to the club, he is not working on himself. He's going for leisure fun. Okay? So you guys see what men are doing. Hiking.
That part.
Hiking is leisure, but it's still working on yourself.
Working on yourself.
Because you get a sense of joy of walking up these mountains and doing all these things. You get a sense of accomplishment. So you got to find things what men like to do. So that's what he was telling you, young ladies, as he was dropping those gems in the vehicle. So what are you looking for? You don't know what you're looking for because you're looking for it in the wrong places. I'll land my plane.
So I'm going to read Royce Monroe's comment first and then Mr. Mr. Royce Monroe says, hang in the hood, you're going to get a hood chick. Hang in a museum, you're probably dating a cultural chick. That part. Mr. says, accountability is the modern woman's kryptonite. This Uber driver just suggested something she'd never considered. And quite frankly, Mr. it's a lot of women have never considered that. We grow up in a society that coddles us, especially when we're in our 20s, right? And some of our fathers, they don't intentionally mean to do it, but even our daddies do that a little bit. They coddle us. It's okay, baby girl. That's fine. He doesn't deserve you anyways, right? We tend to, especially when we're in our 20s, when our brains are developing, because as humans, and our brains are not fully developed until we're 25 years old, right? Like, I was a mother at 21 having no clue what the hell I was doing. Thank God I did well. But we get a lot of coddling, and then all of a sudden we get with a man who isn't coddling us the way that we are accustomed to, and all of a sudden it's a shock. It doesn't mean that man doesn't love you. It doesn't mean he doesn't care about you. It doesn't mean he's mean to you. He's actually making you, the first word you said, be accountable for your presence in his life. And I think a lot of the times as women, is what happens is we feel like men have to show why they deserve to be in our lives. We don't ever feel, because society tells us we're the prize, right? God forbid a man comes on and says no shit, like he's the prize. Women lose their crap. But we come on and proclaim that a 60-year-old single, never been married woman can still come on and say she's the prize. And it's not a problem. But a man comes on and says he's the prize, women lose their crap. So the moment we get questions about, why do you deserve a place in my life? How are you showing up in my life? We actually get offended because society has coddled us, and sometimes our families have coddled us, and a lot of our female friends have coddled us. And so there's that tug of war that happens with a woman who hasn't held her own self accountable for her actions and her choices. So that's a little bit of gem for y'all. That Jack Spade is in the building. Oh Lord, what Jack Spade said. He said Kiki. Good God, why you guys come up with these names? Kiki, anyway, he said Kiki's not going hiking. Can't afford to get dirt, bugs, and sweat in her hair /weave/wig. Buddy just needs to sweat them at the bathroom area at the club. Good night, Jack Spade. Mr. Royce Monroe is laughing at what Jack Spade just said. But here's the thing, Jack Spade, you don't want Kiki. You want Keisha. You want a woman who's actually going to introduce herself by her real name. And she said, my name Kiki. That's probably not the woman you want if you're going hiking and all the things. You want a woman who's going to introduce herself by her full name. I think my boyfriend knew my full government name. I think the first night we spoke, I was like, this is my name. If you need to Google me, you can look me up, right? Because I think people should Google each other, by the way, because I will Google your ass real quick. But I was like, this is my full name. Go check me out, figure out what you can find out and come back, right? Like, I think there are those types of women, to Royce Monroe's point. If you could hang in the hood, you're likely going to get a hood chick. So if you're hanging in places where there's Kikis and not Keishas or Sandras or Michelles, then that's what you go and get. Let's hear what Mr. is saying. Men, generally speaking, never get coddled. That's fact. You guys are told, men up. At young ages, you fall, you all right? Men up, right? We get held accountable for everything we do. We didn't know what it's like to live thinking we never did anything wrong. I will own that. One of the things that I tell men right off the bat is, one of my biggest flaws is that I'm a spoiled daddy's girl. Like a brat, spoiled. My daddy walked on water, and that's because he told me I walked on water, and I was amazing, and I was his princess. And I am a like spoiled actual brat. And I have seen it, I have owned it, but I know when I'm being it. But what I also had on the other side is a strong male presence in my life that despite the fact that I was a spoiled daddy's girl, my dad did still hold me accountable and gave me enough insight in terms of when you meet that man, the type of woman that you needed to be and all those things. But I own my flaws and I can see it happening. Like I see it even there are times like where my boyfriend's like, don't even, because he sees the look in my face and he'll say something like, you know, you're trying to manipulate me, right? I'm like, you're not wrong, right? Because this has worked in the past and I do this to get my own way and you are correct, but I own that. And it's because I've been coddled. Men don't get to do a pouty face or just like and a sweet voice, like, you know, we do that. You guys don't get to do that because you're told men up and do what you need to do. And I think this is why we need to, when we're in these mature, intentional relationships, is understand the dynamics that happens between us. Are we talking about how we grew up? Are we talking about those differences in how we were raised? Culturally, you know what I'm saying? Like culture is a big part. How your families viewed relationships and love and all of those different things. How did you see love? Like I keep saying, a question that I ask people, what is your relationship with love? Not the people you love, but just the concept of love. And if we're going to be intentional, we need to start having intentional conversation. And like I said, instead of being offended by somebody who has a difference, try to learn from it. That's my final word for the night on this. Twins, your final word before we go into our dating tips.
You kind of hit it on that. I don't have nothing additional to add to that. You kind of hit it on the nail on this portion of the conversation.
Thank you so very much. So you went last week. I will go first. What is my dating tip for the night? Let me see. I'm going to say, ladies, let's be real with ourselves. Let's start this. Okay, Mr. is starting his long dating tip. Okay, I'll wait for his to come in. So ladies, my dating tip for the night, let's be real with ourselves. I don't even know if I need to say more after that, but really let's be real with ourselves. Let's take a real assessment of ourselves and determine how well we would do in the husband market if we were to put our wife resume out, because you are a wife before he even marries you. So the same way we assess our resume for that promotion that you want, that new job that you want, whatever it is, what do? We put our resume together and we put the highlights of the things that we're great at. If you were to put your wife resume together and have somebody else assess it, how would it come out? And be truly real with yourself. And if you're seeing that you are not ready to be a wife to the husband that you desire, what do you need to do to get there? Let's be real with ourselves. So that is my dating tip for the night. Twins, before I read apparently Mr.'s long dating tip.
Sure. So what I have for the fellas, if you're out there dating and you do find a diamond in the rough, I'm talking about a gem, a lady with great potential, be intentional with her, right? Be intentional with her. Tell her that you're being intentional with her and show her you're being intentional. And what that's going to do and tell is put pressure on her to take you serious or not. You know what I'm saying? Those two things will let you know if this relationship may go forward or not. If you're being intentional with her and showing her being intentional and she's still playing games, she's not serious. So that's why I'll give to you on the my dating tip. Be intentional and put pressure on her.
Drops mic. God, I love that word, intentional. So I am going to read Mr.'s dating tip. Again, Mr. like our like a shadow co-host. Mr. says, oh, I got that. Okay, here we go. Let me get in close. The first part of his dating tip is Get yourself a co-pilot, not a passenger. Get yourself a teammate, not an opponent. When a co-pilot sees you're lacking, they're not going to say, no, that's your job, you fly the plane. They're going to take the wheel and help you get right. When your teammate sees that you're hurt, they're going to pick you up and help you get back in the game. When it comes to dating, we have no use for passengers and opponents. These types of people will not help you do anything if things go left. These people are not valuable. Leave them where you found them. The end.
Mic drop. Mic drop.
What?
Mic drop. Good shit. Good stuff, sir.
All right. Okay, Jack Space coming through too with the eye. I'm going to adjust that one. You just said a whole word. Mr. Like that. Clip that, put that out, hope that goes viral, because you just said a whole word, and it is important for us to assess whether people are the teammates that we need or the opponents that we need to go to the left, Whew. Jack Spade. Jack Spade said, dating tip, fellas, nothing wrong with being friend zoned. Holiday parties are coming up soon. Use her to meet other seasonal desperados and drop her. Hold on. You know what, Jack Spade? I'm going to try to get through it. Let me read it again. It's a dating tip. Fellas, nothing wrong with being friend zoned. Holiday parties are coming up soon. Use her to meet the other seasonal desperados. Drop her before Valentine's Day. I've got nothing.
I mean, Jack, very diabolical, but I like it. He's on to something. It makes sense, though. So if you want to friend zone me, that's cool. This is it is fall now, ladies and gentlemen.
Cuffing season, apparently.
It is cuffing season. It is cuffing season. It is holiday season. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that time. So you might be able to find your special one through someone else. Or when she see you talk to someone else, she might take you serious and might want you and stop playing around with you. She might take you out the friend zone, put you as the main. So hey, it's a 1-to-1. So Jack, I like that one, especially if you're a fella who's still playing the field. If you haven't found the one yet, I would try that if I wasn't already, mingling with somebody right now. So I like that.
Not him stunting on us again, Mr. He said, I'm good. We good over here. All right, then. Well, that is it, everybody. I'm going to give it maybe another 30 seconds to see if anybody else has the dating tips. Can I just say I love our followers. I love our subscribers. I love all of you who take the time out of your night to come and join this conversation. Again, when I created this show, it was to change the conversation around Black relationships. And I'm so blessed to have a co-host like Twins. And I'm so blessed for all of you who have showed up week after week and showed up and showed out for this simple little Jamaican girl who grew up in Toronto, just trying to make a difference, my little part of the world. So I appreciate you. And since I see that there are no more dating tips, I will bid you adieu. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, tell your mama, your sister, your brother, your cousins, your pastor, the secretary at the church, whomever, tell them that we're out here changing the conversation around Black relationships. Again, if you ever want to just join the show, I have the link is in the comment section every single week, and you can come in and drop some gems. If you have a relationship disaster, a relationship success, a relationship question, we are here. Feel free to email me at fyftheshow@gmail.com. Again, fyftheshow@gmail.com, or you can also drop it in the comments section and tag me or tag Twins so that we get it. Twins, you can tag him at Twins Inc. You can tag him at Twins Inc. in your comment. And for me, you just clearly tag Fuck Your Feelings, the show. So thank you, everyone. Go ahead, have an amazing weekend. Finish out your week strong. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Bye.
Peace. Good night.
Good night.